I'm Ankush Vats, as I've already done my introduction. Today, I'm going to give a talk about how to hire your team zero for tech. So, specifically, if you are into building a tech company and you want to hire good people to build the best product possible, what are the things that you got to do? So, my talk will be around three core points. The first is finding and onboarding the right talent. The second point would be how to build the best culture. And the third point will be around exit. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about exit, but that's one of the realities, and we should definitely take a look at that. So, starting with why I call it the team zero, right? So, in tech, in computers, the counting starts from zero. Okay, so this is the first team that you would hire, and this team is going to build the product, the first MVP that you will roll out to the entire world, and mostly if this team is not able to do or do justice to your vision, you'll probably not be able to move forward ahead. So hiring your team zero is very, very critical. I still remember back in college when startups were all the rage, and a lot of my friends started a startup at that time. They would do all the things by themselves. They would think that they can do front end, back end, all the kinds of skill that is required to build their product, they can do themselves. And that kind of enthusiasm is good, but I have learned it the hard way that it is not going to last for a very long time. So you have to have people who are complementing to your skill. Now, fast forward 8 years, and what I see right now is if you will look at different job profiles on LinkedIn that get posted by startup founders and stuff, you'll see that ask for 10, 12 skills in one person, which is absolutely ridiculous. You shouldn't ask that. Like, you can't expect the same person. Like, if you go back to Stone Age, there were hunters and gatherers. Even the Stone Age people would understand that there is a particular skill for a particular person, and they are good at that, so they should only be dealt with that kind of skill set. So, and hiring for multiple skill set in one person is always going to be a bad idea for your team zero. So, the way I see it is don't hire for jack of all trades. Hire people who have complementing skills in your team zero. Okay, and the best way to do it is look for one particular skill that the person is good at. Okay, don't judge them on any other skill set. They might have other skill set, and that is good for you. They might come in handy when you are actually doing some work for which you haven't already hired somebody. But they should always have one core skill that is very, very critical to your startup. And once you hire all the complementing skills that you need to build the product that you want and the vision that you have, then I think that's the perfect team to find. So while finding and onboarding, make sure that your job description, job profile is very, very specific. You want one particular skill from one person. If you are building a website, make sure that you hire for a front end specifically, hire for a back end specifically, hire for a DevOps specifically, at least. Don't look for these three skills in one person. They can't do it. I can tell you from my own experience, I've hired people who have said that they're full stack with this and that, and they fail at doing so when they are put to test. So hire basically for that particular skill set. Now, once you have hired them, the next big thing that you have to do is establish a culture. Mostly what will happen is the people you hire or the people who would come to your startup in the most earliest of its phase, the team zero phase, they will be from your own connects. They will be from your own past. Maybe they would have worked for you for a previous company. Maybe they were with you in college. Maybe some other connect that you might have with them. So when you bring them all from different backgrounds, it is highly unlikely that they would have the same kind of culture set. They would be following the same pattern and stuff. So you need to inculcate that culture within your team and make sure that all of these people from different backgrounds come to the same page to build the product that you need. And the best way to do it that I've seen is to make sure that you provide people to have responsibility without repercussions. So I have seen a lot of startup founders who have given control of the entire product to somebody who has come on boarded for a particular project, and then when the project isn't delivered on time, they put the entire blame on that person without having to look at what went wrong, right? So when people put a lot of responsibility on one person and threaten them with repercussions, that's not the best possible culture. And this comes from mostly IT tech companies that I have seen, where the seniors would generally dump everything on the juniors, and if the job is not done in time, they'll probably threaten them with an appraisal fallback and stuff. So make sure that when you are hiring this first team, you give them ample amount of responsibility. You ensure that there is not going to be any repercussion, even if they are not able to fulfill what they have promised. But they should aim for the stars, right? So if they are aiming for the stars, they will definitely put in their 100% if they believe in your idea, if they believe in your vision, and if they believe in their own skill set. They will do the best that they can to ensure that your product is delivered in time. So that's one. The second is being agile. Now, agility is something that mostly people don't understand very well. For them, it's just a software management concept. But being agile doesn't necessarily mean that you have to follow a Kanban board where you have tasks listed under to do, doing, done. Agile means being able to adapt to the changes that are happening in real time. Most of you are working in a startup and you have had your products that are coming in, and raise your hands, like how many times you have seen people, whatever your initial thought was about the product, drastically changing because something went wrong, right? For example, like COVID. When COVID happened, most of the company had to change their entire strategy around their product, most of the startups that I worked with. And this happened mostly because they were not prepared for a pandemic like this. Nobody was, but the plan changed, right? So that's what happens. So being agile is being adaptable to product changes that happens. Now, I'll tell you a small story that happened for our startup. We didn't start as a social commerce platform. We started as an influencer marketing platform, and right when our product was off the ground and we had the entire design and everything ready, we have a fully functional website and everything. COVID hit, there was a lockdown. And when lockdown happened, we saw a drastic change across marketing spends for the companies, right? We were an influencer marketing company, and the marketing spend was simply slashed away because that was the first thing that you can cut off to save money, right? So, and on top of that, people did not want to experiment with their marketing spend. Whatever little budget they had allocated to marketing, they wanted to go with something which was very much tried and tested, like Facebook ads, Google ads, and stuff like that. They didn't want to go for experimental stuff. And that's what happened. So we had to adapt to that change in the market, and we had to reinvent ourselves. So we moved to social commerce platform. We built the entire new platform in less than 50 days. Where the entire team was hired for a website development project, but we ended up then releasing an Android app. Okay, so being agile is being able to learn, being able to reinvent yourself, and being able to adapt to the changes in your environment. The third thing is move fast, but every once in a while, take a break and introspect your progress. And this is specifically for the leaders. Your team might not be given this charge, but you as a leader, if you're leading the entire team, you should take some time back, take some time off, understand and introspect your progress. And based on your introspection, you will be able to see the bigger picture if you're able to push through the product in time or not. And if you're not able to do that, you need to course correct. That's like pretty obvious thing. You need to readjust your entire timeline and make sure that whatever is missing, you complete that first. Final thing is never be afraid of the new. When our entire startup idea was reinvented, my entire team was working with web development skill set, and now we had to build an app, right? And even in web development, we had to reinvent the technologies that you're using. Now, if you have hired a team which is reluctant to move to new technologies, doing that will be absolutely difficult at best and impossible at worst. So if your team is not afraid of the new, they will adapt to the new changes. And that's what you should look for when you're hiring somebody, that they should be agile and they should be able to adapt to new technologies as and when it comes. Now the final thing so if there is one thing that I want you to take away from this entire talk is that trust matters. So your team needs to trust your vision. Your team needs to trust that you are going to lead them to that vision. They should trust in your skill set, and then only they'll be able to give 100%. So this team zero that you hire will decide if your startup will survive or wither away. So make sure that you hire wisely. That's all from my side. I'll be happy to take any more questions at the end of the session. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much.